TikTok might get banned. It is not looking good for our favorite app. And if you're a creator that's using TikTok to build your audience and your business, like, you might be worried about what's going to happen to you if the government actually shuts the app down. But there are things that you can do to be proactive and to protect yourself in case of the worst. So today I'm going to lay out a very simple strategic plan that you can start to implement immediately. Now, I'm not going to get into the politics of this. I'm not going to give you the latest updates on what is happening with the TikTok ban in the news. That is not what this video is. This video is about helping you protect your hard work in the business that you have been building with TikTok. This video is about the steps that you can take to make sure that you don't lose your followers, that you don't lose your content, that you don't lose your community and your ability to make income online. And I'm not trying to create fear or anything like that. I'm just trying to give you the tools to take care of yourself. And this plan that I'm about to lay out is something that you should be doing no matter what happens. Even in the best of times, the audiences that we build on social media can disappear overnight. Whether you're building an audience on Instagram or TikTok or through Google SEO, all it takes is one algorithm change for all of your hard work to disappear. This is going to date me, but when I was first starting my online business, everybody was trying to build Facebook fan pages. Because back then, if you could get people to like your Facebook fan page, that meant every single piece of content that you posted on the page was going to show up in their feed. And so people were actually running ads to get thousands and tens of thousands of people to like their page so they could have free distribution of their content. But eventually, like with all social media platforms, it's very easy to grow in the beginning, and then they want to start selling to advertisers. And what inevitably happens is the platform squashes reach, and that's exactly what Facebook did. And so overnight, all of the people that had spent all this money to build these fan pages went from having their content being seen by 100% of their fans to only being seen by 1 to 3%. And people got big mad, but there was nothing they could do about it. And this was very eye-opening as a young entrepreneur. And in the last 10 years I've been in online business, I've seen it happen over and over across a bunch of social media apps. So here are the things that you need to do to make sure that you're prepared, whether TikTok gets banned or just some other crazy social media stuff happens. The first thing I want you to do is make sure that you're downloading all of your content off TikTok without the watermark. We want to make sure that your content doesn't get lost. We want to make sure that we are protecting all of your hard work that you've already made, and all of that content can be reused on other platforms. So at the very least, you should be downloading your highest performing videos, all those viral TikToks that you have. But really, you should be trying to download as much of your catalog as you possibly can. Because the crazy thing is that sometimes videos that didn't perform as well on TikTok will actually do very well on Instagram or Facebook Reels or YouTube Shorts or wherever it is that you go to post them. Because all of the algorithms are a little bit different. So download as many of your published videos as you can. Go through your drafts. Doesn't matter if you have 5 drafts, 10 drafts, 10,000 drafts. Download all of those drafts that you haven't posted yet so you have them and can republish them. And if you have any content that's on your phone, like that's the original A-roll video that you recorded, like make sure that you get that into a hard drive or Google Drive or somewhere and get it organized. That way you can potentially reuse all of that content later. Now, the easiest way to download your content is to use something like snaptik.app, and I want to show you how to do it. So what you're going to do is you're going to go onto TikTok, and then you're going to go to your profile, and you're going to pick the content that you want to download. So I'm going to go here and post a recent TikTok about how I got monetized on YouTube in 1 month. That's a really good one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to copy the link to the video. Once I've done that, you are going to go to snaptik.app, and it looks kind of shady. It looks kind of spammy. It's okay. It's not going to hurt your phone, not going to give you a virus or anything like that. All you're going to do is you're going to paste that link right there, and you're going to hit download. All right. It's going to go through this process, and then you're going to see the video there, and you're going to hit this blue download button again, and it's going to have a pop-up. Yes, you're going to hit download. It's going to load here in the bottom of your phone. Once it does, you're going to click on that, go to downloads, and you will be able to click and save this to your phone. And there you go. Very simple to download that video without the watermarks, and now you can reuse it on other platforms. The next thing you need to do is pick a second platform to start posting content on. I don't care what social media app you pick. I'll actually get into the pros and cons of a couple of platforms to help you decide here in a little bit. But the most important thing is that you start posting content and building a following on another platform as soon as possible. Don't push this off and say, I'll do it tomorrow. You already know that it takes time to build a following on social media. So you need to start now and give yourself a runway to start building that audience instead of scrambling like everyone else if TikTok eventually gets shut down. The good news is that the process with this TikTok bill and it potentially getting banned is going to slow way down now that it's moved from the House to the Senate. Even if it does get passed, TikTok is going to have at least 6 months to find a buyer, so you have plenty of time to start building that audience. But don't use that as a means to procrastinate. Start now. You need that 6 months to build up that audience and be safe on 2 platforms. But what platform should you be posting on? I'm going to recommend that you either go to YouTube or you go to Instagram, and I'm going to share the pros and cons of both. I'll go ahead and start with YouTube because obviously this is the second place that I chose to start building my audience on. If you are an educator and you like long form content, YouTube is the obvious choice for a couple of reasons. The first one is that the videos just have a longer shelf life. I'm a big fan of creating assets in business. I want to do work once that pays dividends for months, years even. And so I like things like lead magnets and products and email automations. And so the great thing about a YouTube video that makes it an asset is that even though you have to put in a little bit more time up front to script it and make the video, once you publish it, it can last for a long time. And as it starts to get pushed on the homepage and ranked on search, that video is going to be generating views and subscribers and leads for you every single day. And this has a really nice snowball effect where we see our views go up constantly. I also like how YouTube really has multiple ways for you to get discovered. Everybody knows about keyword research and SEO and the power of the YouTube search engine being the biggest search engine after Google. But one of the great things about YouTube right now for brand new creators is that they are pushing you on the homepage. And so if you can learn to come up with good ideas, titles, and thumbnails, and people are actually clicking on your videos, you have the ability to grow very quickly. And really, that's how I was able to go from 0 to 20,000 subscribers in under 6 months and get my channel monetized after just 4 videos. And if you want to learn more about how I've grown so fast on YouTube, you can check out my playlist with all of my YouTube tutorials. But specifically, I would watch this video. Speaking of getting monetized on YouTube, the YouTube Partner Program pays really, really well. I know that TikTok just announced a brand new program to pay creators, and I'm going to be talking about that here on the channel very soon. But the reality is that ad revenue from short form content just doesn't pay as much as it does for long form content. And so on YouTube, you can actually make a lot more money with less views than you will with bigger views on TikTok. Let me break it down for you. RPMs on TikTok can range anywhere from 20 cents up to like $3, but most creators are making less than $1 in RPMs from their content. And if you don't know what RPM means, it's just a term that stands for like how much are you getting paid for your video to be shown to 1,000 people. So while TikTok creators might be getting a 50-cent RPM, YouTube creators are making anywhere between $5 and $20 for every 1,000 views on their content. To put that in perspective for you, I had just under $11 as my RPM on YouTube in the past 28 days. And that means that I made $2,037 from 194,500 views. The same number of views on TikTok with only a 50-cent RPM would only pay out $97.25. Another reason that you might want to use YouTube is that you can actually repurpose some of your YouTube videos on TikTok now because they are pushing such longer content. In fact, they have created something called the Video Views Booster, which is actually going to give you a bunch more views if you do landscape or horizontal video like we have here on YouTube. And this is really cool because it means that if you have YouTube videos that are under 10 minutes, you can actually post them on TikTok now, and TikTok is going to push them to a much bigger audience and give them a lot more views. Now, the views from those longer videos are not going to be able to be monetized under Creativity Program Beta, but that doesn't matter because it's free exposure. And now those people have discovered you, you've grown, and now your videos that are over a minute long that are eligible to be paid are going to have more people to see them. And knowing what I do about TikTok and YouTube, the sweet spot here is going to be videos that are over 8 minutes long and under 10 minutes long. Because if your videos are over 8 minutes on YouTube, that means you can do mid-roll ad placements, and there are strategies that you can use to greatly increase how much you earn in ad revenue from all of your videos. And as long as they're under 10 minutes, you can use them on TikTok too, which means you get more bang for your buck. And if you're interested in knowing more about this, just go ahead and check out this video. It's a complete guide to the landscape video and the video view booster that TikTok is using right now to give you more views for these types of videos. Now, the other great thing about YouTube is that you have YouTube Shorts, so you can post your short form content. The downside or limiting factor here is that on YouTube Shorts, your videos cannot be more than 60 seconds. So if you're like me, you probably have like a mix of content that's under 60 seconds and over 60 seconds, and it means that you're only going to be able to use so much of your previously created content on YouTube. But YouTube Shorts have been working really well for a lot of creators lately, and I've had people telling me that content that didn't perform as well for them on TikTok, when they moved it over to YouTube Shorts, ended up doing really well and going viral. You also have the ability to title your content with YouTube Shorts, and more YouTube Shorts content is showing up in search on YouTube. And even though a lot of the TikTok gurus talk about SEO on TikTok, the reality is that the SEO on that platform is really weak, and it's not worth putting a lot of time into. So that's a real advantage to taking some content over to YouTube. Another interesting thing about YouTube Shorts is that it's a little bit less personal than what you have on TikTok. Because when you go onto the YouTube app, you are seeing more shorts than you used to, but there's still a lot of the normal long form content. And so it's not as much like swiping through and seeing the faces that you recognize like it is with Instagram Reels or on TikTok. But this can actually work to your advantage. I know a creator that whenever he has a video that performs really well for him on YouTube Shorts, he's actually going and creating creating like a dozen different hooks for that same video. And he's taking that hook and then the same substance of the video and posting it again. And that video takes off as well. And so now he's able to turn one viral piece of content into a dozen viral pieces of content that generate a lot of new eyeballs, a lot of new subscribers, and a lot of new leads for his business. But the platform that you choose is really going to come down to your personality and what you feel comfortable with. And for most creators, I feel like IG is going to be an easier transition because it's going to be more similar to TikTok. Reels are going to be your main type of content on Instagram. You're going to be able to create, static image posts and carousels that can kind of live on your profile and be a place for people to kind of binge your content, get to know you. You can provide a little bit more substance and personality. So that way, once they discover you, you're giving them a reason to follow you. You can also create those little story bubbles on Instagram above your content, which is really similar to the playlist that we use on TikTok. Now, one of the things that IG really has going for it right now is that they are pushing Reels hard. There's been like over a 20% increase in consumption of Reels on the platform, and they're making it easier to grow on Instagram than it's been in years. And the 7-second videos with the trending sounds and the text on screen that a lot of people have used to grow on TikTok is performing really well on Instagram right now. And so if you have a lot of that type of content on your account and you download it with Snaptic, you can actually post it on Instagram. And in some cases, you're going to see that perform even better than it is on TikTok. But by far, the best change that Instagram has implemented recently, and it is so timely with everything going on, is that Instagram is now allowing you to post Reels up to 3 minutes long instead of capping them at 90 seconds. And so if you've been creating that longer form educational content on TikTok, it's going to be a lot easier to bring that over to Instagram with this new feature. Now, there are a couple of things to keep in mind about 3-minute Reels though. The first one, they are rolling it out, so not everyone will have it, but this is supposed to be like a permanent feature very soon. The next thing you need to know is that you can't use sounds on Reels over 90 seconds. I'm sure this has to do with copyright and all of those kind of things, but it really shouldn't matter that much because most of the time when you are creating a video over a minute long, you're using original audio. The other thing that might be kind of frustrating for some people, but really isn't that big a deal at the end of the day, is that for Reels over 90 seconds, you can't record inside of the app. You actually have to record the video on your phone and then upload it into Instagram. And so that might change your process a little bit, but it shouldn't be that big of an issue. It's just something you need to be aware of. Now, the important thing here is that you just choose a platform. Hopefully this breakdown has given you kind of a more clear idea of whether YouTube or Instagram might be a better fit for you. Don't try to do both. Pick one and start to master that platform and layer it with the TikTok audience that you already have. And it truly doesn't matter which one you pick. Just pick the one that sounds most appealing to you and feels the most natural and that you're the most excited about. Choose the path of least resistance. And then start building that audience now. Don't wait until something bad happens. The third thing that you need to do is start an email newsletter. You need to start moving your followers off of TikTok, and an email list is the absolute best thing that you can do. And I would actually say that this is more important even than getting that second platform started. It's just that you should be able to easily start the second platform using your existing content. But an email list is important because you actually own it. It is your intellectual property. It's also a great way to nurture your audience, get them to know, like, and trust you, and to be able to start making more money in your business. And I don't want you to think that starting an email newsletter has to be complicated, because it doesn't. I'm about to show you a very simple email newsletter framework that you can start implementing this week that isn't going to increase your workload. The first thing that we want to do is make sure that we are actually getting the people that are watching our TikTok videos onto our email list. And we want to use that using the link in our bio. And there's a lot that goes into this strategically around the type of content you make and how you optimize your profile and format everything. So I want you to watch this video where I talk about like how to make your business go viral on TikTok, because I break all of that down in there. But it starts with having a place for people to enter their email, opt in, and join your newsletter. Next, it's really important that we are talking to our newsletter. We are sending out an email at least once a week. We want our readers to get into the habit of opening up our email every week. Like Saturday morning, I read the newsletter from Mike Yanda. And so just like posting on TikTok or posting on YouTube, we have to be consistent. And so the most important thing that you can do is make it so easy to send an email to your list that you can be consistent. Because if you're not sending an email and you're not giving value, you're not going to be able to build that readership, and you're not going to get anything from this in your business. So we are going to use templates and old content to make creating your newsletter every week something super easy that doesn't take a lot of time. We're going to have a templated email format. So all you have to do is basically fill in the blanks every single week to be able to send that email. And then we're going to take your scripts from your videos, or if you don't have scripts, you can use something like rev.com to transcribe your videos and then use that text and reformat it to make very simple email newsletters that have a ton of value for your viewers. But this template is also structured in a way that's going to help you make a lot more money in your business. It's going to allow you to charge more for sponsorships, to get more sponsorships for your content, and to be able to sell more of your digital products or services if you have them. And this is a big thing that a lot of TikTok creators are are missing out on anyway. They want to get the paid promotions and the sponsorships from other businesses with their content, and they don't realize that if they have an email list as well, they're going to be able to command much higher fees, and it's going to be a lot easier to actually get those deals in the first place. So let's go over to my computer and get into the template. Okay, so I have pulled up this newsletter from Justin Welsh. It's called the Saturday Solopreneur. I just love how he sets up his newsletter, and I think that if you mimic this, you're going to do very well. One thing I would point out right away is that he's given this newsletter a title, the Saturday Solopreneur. So all of the content is about building your solopreneur business, and it comes out on Saturday. It's a great name, and I think having a branded newsletter is a good way to go because it's going to allow you to have another asset in your business that you could potentially sell off, or you could pass off to someone else and not have to be the main writer in the future. But don't stress over the name. The important thing right now is that you actually start this newsletter, you start building your list so you can make money from it, you can give value to your audience and get value from that asset in return. So let's get into the 3 parts of this template. The first one is the sponsor box, and it's this piece that you see up here. And so you can see how he's saying today's newsletter is brought to you by Kajabi. Now, I wanted to use this newsletter in particular because it's not actually sponsored by Kajabi. He's just providing an affiliate link, and I wanted to show you that you should be using the first part of the template, the sponsored box, from the beginning, because this newsletter is going to allow you to passively sell without being pushy. And even if you don't have sponsors yet, there's a lot of things that you can do to start generating income in your newsletter. And so Justin does get sponsors all of the time, but here he's just providing an affiliate program where people can go in, get Kajabi, get a 30-day free trial, and he's going to get a commission off that. He's actually going to get a recurring monthly commission for everyone that signs up and pays. So if you don't have sponsorship opportunities yet, it's okay. You can use an affiliate link. You can have the newsletter be sponsored by one of your products, or you can show some love to one of your buddies in the entrepreneurial world and promote them and show like that they are the sponsor of the newsletter. And that doesn't mean you have to charge them. It's just to build goodwill in the community. For example, if I was writing an email about how to write a newsletter, I might say that it was promoted by my good friend Chris Orzechowski, known as the email copywriter, because that dude has been with me for over a decade. We've been supporting each other in our businesses, and he is an A-list copywriter. He is one of the best people to learn from when it comes to writing good email copy and selling from email. So choose something to be the sponsor of your email, write your blurb, and then move on to the second part of our template, which is the actual content. The beauty of this is that it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. You can take some of your best performing content from TikTok and the points that you shared there, and then just turn them into written form. So you can literally just take a script from one of your past videos, or you can transcribe the video and then just polish it up. I personally like to use a pre-written formula, so that way it's very simple for me to write this every week. And so the script is very simple. I want you to think about what is a big problem that your readers or viewers are struggling with. Then ask yourself, how do people usually try to solve that problem? And why is it that that method doesn't usually work? Then talk about how you can solve the problem differently, and then recommend some action steps to the reader to help them solve the problem. This formula ensures that you're always helping your readers with something that they're struggling to do, and this is how you build a loyal tribe of followers. The final piece of the newsletter is the super signature, and this is how you sell without selling. And the beauty of this is that as people start to read your newsletter week after week after week, they are going to be exposed to your offers. This allows you to let them know how you can help them and what you have for sale without pushing it in their face. And since you're giving value and helping them with something they're struggling with every single week and demonstrating how you can help them, they're going to be more likely to click on these links, learn more about your offers, and buy from you. And the super signature is very simple. You can see here Justin says, whenever you're ready, there's 3 ways that I can help you. And then generally that's what you want to have. You want to have 3 different things they could do. It could be a course, a low ticket digital product, or maybe the ability for them to book a call with you, like a strategy session where you can sell them into your higher ticket offer or service. And then the one that I would recommend all of you start putting on there is you give a link for them to be able to apply to promote themselves to all of the subscribers on your list by sponsoring your newsletter. This is going to help you start to get those sponsorships, not only for the newsletter, but for your video content. So now we know what to do with our newsletter, but how do we create it? Don't overthink this. I've personally used ActiveCampaign for years because I like the ability that I can send out a blast email to all of my subscribers, but also be able to create more complex email sequences that allow me to sell my digital products on autopilot. But that has gotten a lot more expensive over the years. So if it's not in your budget, then I want you to check out Beehive. Beehive is free to start, and it was built for creators with newsletters in mind. You're going to be able to get up to your first 2,500 subscribers before you have to pay for anything. And then as you grow, it's going to start layering in more complex abilities that you can use inside of your email. It really seems to be gaining traction as the go-to email newsletter software, both on TikTok and and on Twitter, so I'd highly recommend checking it out. And no, I'm not an affiliate for that. I'm just trying to recommend to you other tools that you can use. Now, I have one last tip for you. Do not stop posting on TikTok. The chances are that everything is going to be fine. It's not going to disappear. In worst case scenario, TikTok ends up having to sell to an American company and you're still able to use the app. So the best thing that you can do, in addition to implementing all of the steps that I shared in this video today, is to watch this video so you can learn how to make the algorithm love you and you can grow faster on TikTok.